Welcome back to Mummy's Ways.
Today's discussion will again be on life processes. The topic for the day is transportation. We have already completed digestion and respiration and the mode of nutrition in detail. If you haven't watched our video, I'll put the link in the description box. Please do watch it. So, coming to today's topic of discussion, transportation. Circulatory system of human beings and the transportation in plants both differ from each other. Human beings, like other multicellular organisms, need a regular supply of food and oxygen. This function is performed by a circulatory system or a transport system. To transportation in human beings, the circulatory system is responsible for the transport of various substances in human beings. It is composed of the heart, arteries, veins and the blood capillaries. Blood plays the role of carrier of substances. Now let's talk about heart. Heart is a muscular organ which is composed of cardiac muscles. It is so small that it can fit inside an adult's breast. The heart is a pumping organ which pumps the blood. The human heart is composed of 4 chambers: right atrium, the right ventricle, the left ventricle and the left atrium. So what is systole and diastole? Systole is the contraction of cardiac muscles and the diastole is the relaxation of cardiac muscles. Now what are arteries? These are thick-walled blood vessels which carry oxygenated blood from the heart to different organs. Pulmonary arteries are an exception because they carry deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs, where oxygenation of blood takes place. What are veins? Veins are thin-walled blood vessels which carry deoxygenated blood from different organs to the heart. Pulmonary veins again here is an exception because they carry oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Valves are present in the veins to prevent the backflow of blood. So, now what happens in the human circulatory system? The human circulatory system contains a pumping organ, the heart, the blood vessels, arteries and veins, and the blood vessels, blood and lymph. What happens is, from the body, first the deoxygenated blood enters the right atrium via the vena cava. In the right atrium, first the cardiac muscles are relaxed. This is termed as diastole, as I have already mentioned in my previous slide. And then it gets contracts and this is termed as systole. From the right atrium, this now enters to the right ventricle. And again, diastole happens and then systole happens. It enters the lungs now. In the lungs, the oxygenated blood enters the left atrium and gets relaxed. That is diastole. And again, it contracts in the left atrium. That is again our systole. So now it enters the left ventricle. It again gets relaxed and then contracts. And finally, via the aorta, the oxygenated blood enters the body parts. Now again, from the body parts, the deoxygenated blood continues the same cycle. So, for a pictorial representation, the deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body enters through the vena cava to the right atrium. First, it gets relaxed and then the cardiac muscle contracts and then enters the right ventricle. Again, the cardiac muscle relaxes and then gets contracts and then enters the lungs, and over here the oxygen gets purified and the oxygenated blood now enters left atrium. Over here again the cardiac muscles gets relaxed and then again it gets contracts and then enters the left ventricle. Again over here it gets relaxed and then gets contracts, and via the aorta the oxygenated blood enters all parts of the body. So now what are capillaries? Capillaries are the blood vessels which have single-celled walls. Blood Blood is a connective tissue which plays the role of the carrier for various substances in the body. Blood is composed of plasma, blood cells and the platelets. As I have already said in my previous slide, blood is composed of plasma, blood cells and the platelets. This blood cells is again divided into red blood cells RBCs and the white blood cells WBCs. Now, what is a blood plasma? Blood plasma is a pale colored liquid which is composed of water. Blood plasma forms the matrix of the blood. What are platelets? Platelets are responsible for the blood coagulation. Blood coagulation is a defense mechanism which prevents excess loss of blood in case of an injury. Coming to the blood cells, as I have already said, there are two types, red blood cells and the white blood cells. Red blood cells, these are of red color because of the presence of hemoglobins, which is a pigment. Hemoglobin readily combines with oxygen and carbon dioxide. The transport of oxygen happens through hemoglobin. Some part of the carbon dioxide is also transported through the hemoglobin. Red blood cells is also called as red blood corpuscles. Coming to the white blood cells, which are also called as white blood corpuscles, these are pale white color and they play an important role in immunity. Now, what are lymph? Lymph is similar to blood, but RBCs are absent in lymph. Lymph is formed from the fluid which leaks from the blood capillaries and goes to the intercellular space in the tissues. This fluid is collected through lymph vessels and finally returned to the blood capillaries. Lymph also plays an important role in the immune system. Lymph, a yellowish fluid, escapes from the blood capillaries into the intercellular spaces that contains less proteins than blood. Lymph flows from the tissues to the heart, assisting in transportation and destroying germs. Now, what is double circulation? In the human heart, blood passes through the heart twice in one cardiac cycle. This type of circulation is termed as double circulation. One complete heartbeat in which all the chambers of the heart contracts and relax once is called a cardiac cycle. The heart beats about 72 times per minute in a normal adult. In one cardiac cycle, the heart pumps out 70 ml of blood and does about 4,900 ml of blood in a minute. Double circulation ensures complete segregation of oxygenation. Double circulation ensures complete segregation of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, which is necessary for optimum energy production in warm-blooded. We have already put up the videos of life processes regarding mode of nutrition, digestion, respiration and transportation in our previous video. I will put up the link below in the description box. Those who haven't watched it, please do watch it. Coming to today's topic, excretion, life processes. Excretion in human beings. Removal of harmful waste from the body is called excretion. Many wastes are produced during various metabolic activities. These need to be removed in time because their accumulation in the body can be harmful and even lethal for an organism. The human excretory system. The human excretory system is composed of a pair of kidneys. A tube called ureter comes out of each kidney and goes to the urinary bladder. Urine is collected in the urinary bladder from which is expelled through the urethra as and when required. So, as I have already said in my previous slide, human excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, urinary bladder, a pair of the ureter and a urethra. Coming to kidney. Kidney is a bean-shaped organ which lies near the vertebral column in the abdominal cavity. The kidney is composed of many filtering units called the nephrons. Nephrons is called the functional unit of kidney. Coming to the nephron. It is composed of a tangled mess of tubes and a filtering part called the glomerulus. The glomerulus is a network of blood capillaries to which renal artery is attached. The artery which takes blood to the glomerulus is called the afferent arteriole, and the one receiving blood from the glomerulus is called as the efferent arteriole. The glomerulus is enclosed in a capsule-like portion called the Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule extends into a fine tube which is highly coiled. Tubes from various nephrons converge into the collecting duct which finally goes to the ureter. Urine formation in kidney involves 3 steps: glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and secretion. Glomerular filtration: nitrogenous waste, glucose, water, amino acid filter from the blood into the Bowman's capsule of the nephron. Tubular reabsorption: now useful substances from the filtrate are reabsorbed back by the capillaries surrounding the nephron. Secretion: extra water, salts are secreted into the tubule which opens up into the collecting duct and then into the ureter. Urine produced in the kidney passes through the ureters into the urinary bladder where it is stored until it is released to the urethra. The purpose of making urine is to filter out waste product from the blood such that urea which is produced in the liver. Hemodialysis: what is it? It is the process of purifying blood by an artificial kidney. It is meant for kidney failure patients. To sum up, excretion is the removal of harmful waste in the body. This need to be removed in time because accumulation can be harmful and even lethal. Coming to the human excretory system, it is composed of a pair of kidneys, a ureter which comes out of each kidney, and the ureter enters into the urinary bladder. Urine is collected in the bladder and released or expelled out through the urethra. Kidney is a bean-shaped organ, lies near the vertebral column in the abdominal cavity. This composed of functional unit of kidney, the nephron. A nephron is a tangled mess of tubes and a filtering part called the glomerulus which is enclosed in a Bowman's capsule. Urine formation is of 3 steps: glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, and secretion. Glomerular filtration, wastes are filtered. In tubular reabsorption, useful substances are reabsorbed back by the capillaries, and in secretion, extra substances are released or expelled out. Hemodialysis is an artificial method of process of purifying blood in kidney. This is meant for patients with kidney failure. So that's all for today. This is all about excretion. Hope it was easy to understand. Let's meet again with another video. Until then, bye-bye.